afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. We're both retired New York City police detectives with 20 plus years of law enforcement. And guys and girls, if you like all things true crime related from a police perspective, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you will get all things DutyRon and Ed Wallace when we go live or upload another video. And today, I just want to say quickly on behalf of myself and Ed, a special thank you to the Patreon supporters, the channel members, and all of the moderators and folks who positively interact in all of these live streams, in the live chat. And also, we love the replay viewers, right? Don't we, Ed? We love the replay viewers.
Absolutely.
And the folks who leave comments for myself and Ed down below in the comment section. You guys are instrumental in keeping this thing going. So thank you all. Today, Ed and I have a preview show. It's going to be brief. But before we get into it, I want to say hello to Neboul from France. Neboul is a great friend of mine, and he's always been around. He's actually been here for so long. I haven't seen him in a while. There he is. That's an avatar, a little funny picture of, but he actually looks like that. So hello, Neboul from France.
Bonjour, Neboul.
Bonjour. Oui. He's got the very expensive wine and smelly cheese comes out of France. Those are the two good things that come out of France.
Ah, très bien.
And my good friends. Welcome, Neboul. Thank you for joining. Ed, we got something special cooking, and we spoke about it on our last stream. Brian Laundrie, we are still trying to find out the cause and manner of his death. Did he commit suicide? Did he commit suicide by hanging? Did he commit suicide by shooting himself? Did he commit suicide by other means? And a forensic anthropologist is going to be the guy or gal to figure this one out. You want to tell the audience what we got cooking for tomorrow?
So, folks, tomorrow I reached out to a friend of mine that worked with me at the landfill in Staten Island from DMORT. He's a doctor of anthropology. His name is Dr. Michael Warren. He was with the DMORT crew that came up to New York City to assist us. And I reached out to him today, and he will be joining us tomorrow at 8 p.m. To discuss all things forensic anthropology.
And you know what? That is going to be a blockbuster live stream, because forensic anthropology is such a great science. And I have photos and I have video to show you guys of Dr. Warren doing work on skeletal remains in the, what would we call it? The laboratory, the autopsy room, the exam room?
The exam room, the laboratory, either one works.
So I have video and photos of Dr. Warren doing his thing. He, excuse me, he teaches at the University of Florida. Ed, take over, because I got to take a drink.
Okay. So he retired from the University of Florida. So now he's out in the Denver, Colorado area, and he was happy to join us. He's a member of the American Academy of Forensic Science, and he's a great public speaker. I've seen several of his presentations while attending the American Academy of Forensic Science conferences, and I think you're really going to enjoy them. He has a lot of court cases under his belt, including the Casey Anthony case he worked on and gave testimony for. How you doing, Ron?
I'm good. I'm back.
Okay. No choking to death on us. I can't give you the Heimlich over the internet.
Yeah, and I'm home alone too, so I don't have my fallen and I can't get up button. I don't have one of those yet. I'm not qualified yet.
Where's the security detail?
Yeah, we need to. Popeye is right here, and
Okay.
Oscar is upstairs. He'll come running down and lick my face as I'm choking to death. But seriously, I looked into Dr. Warren, and what an impressive resume. And again, it's a testament to what Ed Wallace has done in his career, working at the World Trade Center, doing the recoveries, working in Staten Island at the landfill. It was a forensics, kind of right up their alley. I didn't want to say like a forensics dream, because it was a nightmare actually, but working at the World Trade Center site was challenging, to say the least. But most of the recoveries and the identification was done through DNA and forensic anthropology, because we were dealing with a lot of bones and bone fragments and pieces and things of that nature. So Let me scan the chat really quick and say hello to everybody because so many people are joining. Princess Michelle, welcome aboard and thank you for being a channel member. Sherry G, great to see you. Thank you for joining. Yes, I'm feeling a lot better, guys. I took the bandage off. I posted some pictures on Instagram and Facebook. You guys can go over to my Facebook, all one word, DutyRon. And you could see some of my gruesome photos of my 10 stitches that I have in my head, but I am cancer free, so that's a good thing. And in case some of you didn't know it, Ed fought his battles too with cancer. Ed, do you care to talk about that? Or
Sure, no problem. Like most of the people that worked at Ground Zero, we were told the air was safe when we were working down there in the landfill, in the morgue, and so forth. And it turns out in reality, it wasn't safe. And we inhaled and ingested all these toxic cocktail of biologicals, volatile organic compounds, heavy metals, and a number of different carcinogens. And so I was diagnosed with multiple illnesses and diseases attributed to Ground Zero by the World Trade Center clinic, and then all your diseases, once found, have to be certified by NIST, and they certified my diseases as coming from Ground Zero. So I have sarcoidosis. I lost 3 sections of my right lung so that they could biopsy these supragranulomas that were in my lung. I have COPD, restricted airway, sleep apnea, GERD, acid reflux. In addition to that, I have got cancer. I had some sinus problems. My cancers were related to my prostate. I had my prostate removed. I had my gallbladder removed. I had precancerous polyps taken out of my sinuses twice, and I'm on a host of medicines that I'll have to be taking for the rest of my life.
you know, Ed, some of the list of the things that you went down: acid reflux, GERD. I had sinus surgery. Skin cancer, World Trade Center related and certified. This is my third go around with skin cancer. So, you know, most of us who served down and answered that call that day paid a price, and some paid the ultimate sacrifice and the ultimate price, and are no longer with us. And my brothers and sisters that we lost along the way, we salute you and we think about you all the time. Louis Alvarez fought like a warrior right to the end, right to his last days, fighting before Congress to keep the Victim Compensation Fund going, and World Trade Center Medical and the health program that we rely on to keep us alive. I sleep with the sleep apnea and have all that stuff, and it's all attributed to my World Trade Center response. So.
Yeah, special thanks to the Feel Good Foundation, John Feel, and John Stewart. Got to give props out to John Stewart.
What a good man. Yeah. I highlighted that whole I actually played the whole stream that they were before Congress when Louis went there, and he was deathly ill, and he was Popeye's making a lot of noise. I don't know if
security details on alert.
Oh my gosh, I might have to get up and get him because he really wants my attention today. All right, let's focus back from off of us back onto the subject at hand. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to set a live stream up right after I get done with this with Ed. You can set your reminders. You can go in there, set a reminder so you could see and hear us talk with Dr. Warren tomorrow night. A forensic anthropologist will be joining us to talk all things Brian Laundrie, and not just a Brian Laundrie case. We're going to talk to him about Casey Anthony and his work on that case. I know he testified before the court. It wasn't a result that we all wanted. It was a not guilty verdict. I want to talk to him about that, and I'm hoping that he'll be able to expand on it because the case is over now. But I can't thank you enough for grabbing him and getting him on. We were doing some research, Ed and I, before the show began, and we're going to continue to do this research about the conditions of the Carlton Reserve and the Myakkahatchee Reserve, the flooding conditions from September 19th leading up to Brian Laundrie's remains being recovered We're going to talk about that in future programs, and we're also going to be venturing on to new cases going forward. But there is still quite a bit to talk about. And the forensic anthropology side, I feel, is the final leg in this case. And I think it's very important, and Ed agrees with me, for us to get a look. And we were trying to get one of Ed's friends, a female anthropologist, to come on, but she's very busy. I mean, these folks are very busy people, and we weren't able to narrow her down. And for the best of the show, we decided we would go with who was available, and Dr. Warren was available. And he has so many books and readings and teachings out there available. I'll link it all down below in the description of that live stream. But let me go back and say thank you to Sana Elise Holz Johnson. Thank you for becoming a channel member and for sending a super chat. And that is in her currency. Prayers to both of you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you from the bottom of both of our hearts for that. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we have a new member joining, Jody Van Driel. Thank you, Jody. Where are you from, Jody? I'd be curious to know. She joined at 3:26 p.m. and became a new member. Jody Van Driel. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Driel. Welcome to the family. Thank you for becoming a channel member. And folks, if you become a channel member, we are going to be doing more of members only live streams. It's part of the perks of becoming a channel member. And another part of becoming a channel member perk is that you can get custom emojis that you could put in the chat, and you are recognized when your chat comes up with a little insignia next to your name. So if you're interested in that, a lowest tier level is $2.99, and that's monthly, and you could cancel it at any time. But it will give you an opportunity to go and look at the dozens of members only live streams that we do. And we do most of our stuff public, and it's free. Anybody can watch it. The bulk of Crime Time with DutyRon is over 900 videos available for you to watch for free. The members only one is part of that perk. So some people get upset about it. Well, I can't become a member. I can't afford it. Well, no, you're not going to miss out on anything, because we have a plethora. I like that word. We have a plethora of videos and live streams for you to go through our library and look at. Gemma's Journey in Grace. She loves me and I love her. She's from the UK, and she's part of the autism awareness community. She is a wonderful creator who brings awareness to autism, and I love and respect her tremendously. So thank you, Gemma's Journey in Grace. Love you right back. Who else just became a channel member? Look at this, Darlene Dunlap. She's jumping into the pool. Thank you for becoming a channel member. Ed, can you give the preview to some of these folks what we're going to be talking about with Dr. Warren? Just to give a little teaser, but don't give it all away.
All right. Well, we want to get you some Forensic Anthropology 101. What is it they do? When they get called out, what do they do? How do they document, collect, analyze the bones and body parts and so forth? And how do they make their determinations? We want to give you the nuts and bolts of forensic anthropology.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be a dynamite show, because a lot of the folks have a lot of questions, and they're not getting answers to it. Because as I said with, hello, Carol, loving Alaska, always great to see you. As I said, when you look at some of the news outlets and they put forensic anthropologists and specialists in other areas, and their expertise are wide and varied. But when they put them on, they do an interview that might be 20 minutes long, and then the producers take it and cut it down. And you're getting a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes max of a snippet of what they were talking about. What you get right here is a full hour show where we have our guest on, minus some of the hellos and some of the media that we might play. So you get a good 45 minutes of professionals that come on and give you the overview of what it takes and what is involved in a forensic anthropologist examination of human remains. And that's what's at the forefront of the recovery of Brian Laundrie. We want to know what goes on, how it's put together, how, they, of course, he's not going to have exactly what has been recovered, and none of us will know that until they release it. But we know that they talked about a partial skull, and other remains. And Ed, you and I looked at a video of a woman and a man that went into the park after the fact.
Hmm.
There was other bones that were picked up and recovered, and they were since I think identified as animal remains.
Animal bones, yes.
You know, we have our thoughts and opinions on that. We do things differently here in the New York City Police Department. Well, first of all, let me say, Lisha is that Galagos?
Galagos.
Galagos. She made her first live stream in a long time, and always on the replay. And she said, "Oh, I finally made it! I made it!" But look, she not only made it, she became a channel member. So she's been here for over a year, at least, maybe more than a year. So thank you, Lisha, from Ed and I, for becoming a member, and all the new members. Thank you so much. But what I was saying is that, again, you're getting a 2 or 3 minute snippet from the media. With us, you're going to get a 45-minute segment with a professional, somebody who knows what it entails to do this. But when we're talking about the bone recovery subsequent to after the recovery, it really was troubling to me the way I saw them just pick things up and put them up. One of the sergeant actually took some of the bones and took him and put them in his glove that he took off his hands inside out. Did you see that, Ed?
I did see that. I didn't see any photography. I don't know if any was done. I didn't see any bags to place these things in. I just saw him cradle them in a gloved hand. Um,
And I hate to do this. I hate doing this because it's just not natural for me. But I don't get to see. I don't get to see this level of recklessness in the New York City Police Department. And Lieutenant Pete Pranzo is here. Thank you, boss, for being here. Retired Lieutenant Pete Pranzo, Harlem Raiders from the Street Crime Unit, Elite Street Crime Unit.
I don't know if they didn't send the evidence text or it's just
They
two
walked away.
patrol officers with dispatch, a supervisor and a patrol officer with dispatch, and I didn't see any photographs, sketch, measurements, nothing, and they just
Yeah.
didn't seem to document where it came from. I mean, they may have done that off camera, but I didn't see it, and so I don't know.
The frightening part, and is that Huda London? Huda London. Is it Huda? Huda London, Huda London. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize, but thank you so much for becoming a channel member. I appreciate that. Cinderella Kelly Craw, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. I love this stream. Just now joining. Hello from Marion, Ohio. Dave Rader's hometown. Great to see you, and thank you for becoming a member. It's just disheartening for me to see that go on because, again, we don't know what happened after the fact, but we do know that we saw them walk away. Like,
Yeah, but
across the crime scene, if it's potential recovery of evidence of Brian Laundrie, that's could be potentially a crime scene.
yeah, exactly right. And there wasn't just chicken bones there. There was another item that was there, but they left.
Yeah. So we're talking about the water bottle, right? Thank
Yeah.
you for reminding me. Now, I've argued with some folks privately about the water bottle. Is those are a dime a dozen, and people have seen that in the back of the Petito van. And what's the chances of someone going on Amazon and ordering up one of those bottles? They're probably a dime a dozen, and someone could have just put it there just
Well,
to make a controversy.
Well, that may be the case, but you don't leave it there.
You don't know
You take it, you process it for fingerprints and DNA, and you try to determine whose it is and what its connection is to the case.
right.
And especially now that you're seeing photographs of Gabby actually wearing that on her on a back rig and in her van. It's identical. The bottle's identical. So, but you still don't leave it behind. You pick it up, you measure it, you document it, you photograph it, you process fingerprints and DNA, try to determine whose it is.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just trying to play devil's advocate here by saying, hey, look, those are a dime a dozen, but you do not. In our business, in the investigative field, you always have to rule out everything, no matter what. Whether it's a toy gun, a real gun, real drugs, not real drug. We used to find powder in a bag and right away say, oh, it's heroin, cocaine. If it's darker color, it's heroin. But you don't know until you test it. You don't know if it's ibuprofen that's crushed down and they're trying to push it off as cocaine.
And if they have the van, if the bottle is still in the van, they should have inventoried the van, and they would know that that particular bottle seen in the previous photographs in the van and on Gabby's person is
Right.
actually located in the van, and then they would be able to maybe eliminate this.
Exactly. Just Larry, thank you for joining and thank you for the $10 super chat. He says, great work. He is a content creator as well. Just Larry, great to have you in on the live stream. Thank you for joining and thank you for your support. Let me look at some of the chat in case I missed something. April, thank you for joining and becoming a channel member. April,
Ron, I saw a question I'd like to answer. It
Go
was
ahead.
about the body farm and whether they do any work with submerged bodies, and the answer is yes. And in fact, if I may, Ron, talk
Yeah.
about the body farm.
Yeah, we got an upcoming show. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I reached out to the person that took over the University of Tennessee's body farm, Dr. Murray Marks, and he was my lead instructor when I was at the body farm, and he's agreed to come on the show with us and talk about the body farm. So in an upcoming episode, we will have him on and to discuss all things body farm.
Wow, that's going to be a fantastic show. Dawn Travis, thank you for being here and being a channel member. My first live too. I'm a Cali girl that moved to Bayside, Queens for a year back in 2002. I love to hear your conversations. New York law enforcement, FDNY, NYPD are the best. Dawn, you are now my new best friend. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, the body farm. Guys, by a show of hands in the chat, who would be interested in a live stream hearing all things about the body farm? And they do unbelievable research. Now, it's not for the faint-hearted. We are going to get into some nitty-gritty about the research into how human remains decay. So this is not going to be something for someone who suffers from PTSD or is the faint-hearted. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ed. We will be getting into some sensitive material that will be educational. Now, that's the key word, folks. It's educational because it's important that we understand when a human body is out in the elements, in the hot summer, Florida summer, in the heat, in the humidity, in the dry air, in the temperatures where they get hot during the day and cool at night. They go over everything. And this show will be fantastic. So Boy Mom X says number 2. I don't want to see it. Well, that's going to be a show that you tune out. You're going to have to tune out. You're getting fair warning, Boy Mom X2. You got fair warning. DutyRon always gives disclaimers when we talk about sensitive stuff. So, yeah.
And again, everything we do here is for your education.
Yeah. Ooh, Cynthia Hughes sends in $5 and says, how does a person donate their body to the body farm? That's a great question. And
so
I know can answer
you can contact the body farm, go online, look at the body farm, and you'll see a link to do that. And there's forms you have to fill out, and they'll more than be happy to take your body for science.
Everybody's just dying to get in there. Isn't that true?
But
yeah, we're full of jokes today. EXC611. Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Let's get me back on because Ed is filling up the whole screen. I got to say this, man. You guys are so interactive and so engaging. The comments in the comment section, I can see that by an overwhelming majority, everybody's in love with Ed. And I'm not saying in love with Ed where they want to marry him. They're in love with him because of his knowledge and his experience. By a show of hands in the chat, if you enjoy Ed Wallace here as a co-host with me, let me know by putting a 1. If you don't, if you want to just see him once in a while, put a 2. I'm like almost enticing people to put a 2. I don't want that 2, but I know that by saying that, people do it. Nellie Olson, thank you for the $5 super chat. My brother-in-law is a journalist and did a story on the body farm. My sister made him throw the clothes away. It was fascinating. Well, a lot of number 1s. I didn't see a number 2 yet. I'm wrong. Everybody loves you. Look at the chat. Look at it. It's going crazy.
Well, I'm happy just being here and being a part of your show, Ron, and to
Um,
just to dispel any myths or any rumors or anything like. I am not starting up my own YouTube channel. I am Ron's partner, and I will be here for Ron.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you so much. And I
Uh,
know, and listen, I know that you enjoy the I know that you definitely enjoy the engagement. You
mhm.
love to show off your craft. This is something that
Oh,
you worked on for a long time. And I'm not saying show off to be a show off. I'm
no,
saying that you like to educate and
I love
spread.
to educate. Yes,
Yeah.
I love to educate.
So the statement of showing off your craft was really just a fancy term of educating,
Mhm.
but you have a great audience here through Crime Time with DutyRon, and I'm happy to share your expertise and your experience. And as Alicia says, you are both awesome. Listen,
But more importantly, your audience is great, but they want to learn.
right?
You know, I can say all these things to a number of different audience. If they're not receptive to what I have to say or what I'm trying to tell them, it's wasted time.
Right.
Here is not wasted time.
No, no, because you're not getting hogwash. That's the thing. You're getting the real deal, and you're getting it straight from people who have actually have walked the walk and talked the talk. So it's one thing to just read something and read about something and then talk about it, but you're actually getting the people who come in who have conducted autopsies, who have conducted the forensic examinations, and that's a major part of true crime. When you talk about a true crime case, you can't really get around a crime scene. A crime scene will always be there when there's a crime committed therein. um, I want you guys to know, and I did a few live streams way in the past, like 2 years ago, about my expertise. And I worked in the fugitive enforcement division. So I went out and we were responsible for hunting down bad guys that would go on the run from court. And that was a craft in itself. And I actually I am proud to say I was really good at it. I had a really high close rate, and guys and girls would give me their dead cases where they would just FPFI them, and that was like saying basically we did enough investigation, we couldn't catch this criminal. I would take all those dead cases and I would bring them back up and get them to come in, and they would be like, "Hey, Licardi, how did you do that? I was trying to catch this guy for 2 years." It's like, "Oh, I just made a couple of phone calls and I got him to come in."
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's great.
yeah, just a different pair of eyes, a different investigator, different aggressive, tactic or whatever. I just was good at it, and I enjoyed my craft. I enjoyed going to other authorities and taking planes and putting bad guys on planes and bringing them back here to New York. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good times with the guys and girls I did it with, and I miss the show. I don't miss the job. I miss the fun from doing it and hanging out with the men and women of law enforcement. I do miss that part of it, but I love that in my retired life, we're now going on to this educational, um, bringing you guys the information on how it happens. Sleepless in Africa says, was DNA not a match? Question mark, because the dentist was Brian Laundrie's uncle. I don't know that to be true, but thank you for that question from Sleepless in Africa. It doesn't matter. The dental records were probably more than likely, highly likely, subpoenaed by court and were obtained way prior to finding Brian Laundrie's body. In other words, these dental records were the FBI probably in advance went to the dentist, his childhood dentist, his adult dentist, and got all of his records and subpoenaed them legally and obtained them. So it doesn't matter if it was a family dentist or someone in the family or someone. Listen, that's a fake book, probably swirling rumor. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah,
Dentist records are dentists. You can't fudge them, right?
yeah.
You,
Any false misrepresentation of any documents given to the FBI is a crime.
right.
Okay, so this person, if this is accurate, is going to risk his whole dental practice over this. I'm not buying that.
Yeah. No. No.
Ron, may I give a shout out?
Sure.
So one of my former colleagues from the crime scene unit is in our chat room. So I want to just say hi, Maureen. And yesterday, after we did that show the other day with our photographs of our wives and everything, um, shortly thereafter, one of my wife's real estate friends is a follower of us, and she got on the phone and called my wife immediately, screaming, "Oh, I didn't know your husband was Ed Wallace. I didn't know that was you until I saw the photograph in the wedding photos."
I'm trying to find her in the chat. I don't
uh,
see her.
uh, who are you trying to look for?
You said Maureen, right?
Yeah, Maureen is there, but she's not going under the name Maureen.
Oh, okay. She's being sneaky.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, Maureen, welcome to Crime Time with DutyRon, and I'm glad that you're a fan. Alexandra, thank you for the $5 super chat. And she says, from a detective's perspective, how is it possible that they didn't see Brian leaving when they just revealed that they had cameras around the house? A good question. And, I'll answer part of that. We don't know if they had cameras around the house that they had access to real time. Now, unless there was detectives in the front or in the, bottom and top of that block where they live, or detectives in the rear of the location, unless they had detectives in those spots 24/7, you can't go back and look at cameras or have access to cameras real time. Ed, your thoughts on that?
I don't know if this is another fake book thing or whatever the case may be. I don't know the accuracy of these camera issues. I'm not willing to venture a guess on it. I know some of the neighbors had cameras, like doorbell cameras and things of that nature. And I believe there was some uh, footage of from a neighbor, but I'm not aware of the law enforcement people having cameras. Ron, are
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. No.
Uh,
I don't think the law enforcement had real time cameras on the Laundrie residence. Listen, if they did, they would have caught him. So that goes right out the door. So
mhm.
Fiber Floozy Crafts. Wow, what a screen name. Why did the cadaver dogs not key on the remains even underwater? Thank you both for your time. Thank you for that question. It's a good one. And Ed, I'll let you take it because that's part of your expertise.
Well, just like we say, I'm only human, and we miss things and we make mistakes. I'm not saying that a mistake was made here, but the dogs just might have missed it, or the way, if they were searching in those areas, and depends on the speed of the boats or how they were searching or whatever the case may be, they just might not have picked up the scent. I mean, it happens.
Right,
Okay.
right. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's so many possibilities of what could or couldn't have happened here. It's easy to point the finger. It's easy to point a finger and say this, that, and the other. And I see in the chat people saying WFLA reported such and such, but again, don't. Here's another tidbit for you to put in your hat. Don't always believe everything that the news reports because it's their job to report and get stories out there. So sometimes they rush to get a story out that may not necessarily be 100%, and that happens. Fact.
Mhm.
So we're not gonna react or act on just a news report and say that it is 100%. Again, what's important is to get stuff verified, and if it's not coming out of law enforcement and they're not talking about it, and people are, then you got to take it with a grain of salt a little bit. So again, I'm not pinned to the news media, nor is Ed 24/7. We're here to give you a behind the scenes look, a police perspective, law enforcement investigator perspective, and I think we do a pretty darn good job of that.
Yeah, and if you go into the comment section and you post those questions about that stuff, if you have a reference or a citation to a news article or something that was broadcasted on a news station about that topic, please tell us where you got the information from,
Right.
and I'm more than happy to
Right.
look it up and see what they're saying.
And I will say this: if the news is reporting that law enforcement cameras went up on September 12th and they were up, then that's a double screw up because if you had cameras on there, who was watching them? Like we have our real time crime center, right? And we have those Viper cameras in all the housing developments.
Hey, Mandy, I'm blown away by your comment. That's high praise indeed to be compared to Dr. Bass, but I am no way, shape, or form in his class.
Thank you for the super chat, Mandy, and thank you for that compliment with for Ed. Happy caffeinated couple sends in the $5 super chat and says, "Just want to say we appreciate you both. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, thank you. That is awesome and much appreciated." Ed, what do you think? You want to open up the chat lines to 5 questions?
Sure, let's do that.
You want to do it?
Yeah, why
Right.
not?
So 5 questions. You can rapid fire them. It's got to be in regards to obviously Brian Laundrie. Let's keep it to that. Let's not talk about Gabby Petito. We know already that part of this case is already pretty much solved. Keep it to Brian Laundrie and cause and manner recovery over in the park, over in the reserve. So we'll keep it to that. Let me share this. I always cringe when I do this. Share. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to pin this. So it's only going to take 5 people because I got to go. I got to do a couple of things. So I'm going to put it in the chat. Make sure your mic and your camera is on. If the camera is not active and there's feedback, it's good to put in headphones. Ed learned that early on. So use headphones of some sort. And then we'll keep it to five people. So there, I'm going to put it in the chat. Here we go. I'm going to pin it too when I see it. All right, there it is. Let me pin it. Ed, you going to take the first question?
Let's see what it is.
All right. I can't even find it. It went by that fast that I have to put it in again. Here we go. All right. That didn't take long. Let me pin this chat. Oh, Jesus. All right, here we go. All right, Melissa, number 1, and 4 more left after her. Hi, Melissa. How are
Hi,
you?
I'm at work, so I'm trying not to show my uniform, but
It's
I just
okay.
had
Where are you
one
watching
question.
from? Where are you watching from?
Wisconsin.
Okay, great. What's your question?
I actually went to Gabby's memorial when you were there. I was there as well.
Oh, I would have loved to have seen you.
Yeah. I just had one question. What do you think about Bertolino's different statements he's been saying to the press? Like saying the one interview he said on the 13th, 14th that the parents were distraught and Brian was distraught that both parents were grieving and upset when he left. So why would they say both parents were grieving when they didn't even know at that point on the 14th that Gabby was found or deceased or whatever?
Go.
No, I think you should handle this one, Ron. I'm going to stick to the forensics.
Okay, no problem. Well, let me just say this. It's a good question. It's a good question for many different reasons, but because we are only going by what is being reported and what's being said, I try to stay away from that part of it, but I get what you're saying, and I think I did cover this on a couple of live streams. How long have you been around, Melissa? Is it Melissa or is it Melissa?
It's Melissa. Just
Melissa.
Melissa.
It's spelled different. Spelled different. I like the spelling because it's unique.
I've watched your show a long time, and I am a member,
Good.
and I follow everything. But I just went back last night and just listened to each individual interview he's done, and he has told the family, "Don't talk, don't talk, don't talk." But I feel at this point he needs to stop talking. He's changing things up so much that I don't think he's helping by no means.
I agree. And our good friend, criminal defense attorney Joe Murray, he sticks up for him. He's again a fellow criminal defense attorney.
Right.
I think he definitely should heed his own warning that he gave to the parents and Brian Laundrie. Keep your mouth shut because I don't think it's doing anything good. But it's his prerogative. He's the professional. Like
Mhm.
you could come over to a guy like Ed or myself and say, this is how you hunt a fugitive. And I would be like, hey, lady, you go and do your thing and I'll do mine. It's going to be the same thing. They're going to feel like, well, this is my craft and this is what I feel is. I think it's hurting. I presented the fact to Joe Murray. Why wouldn't he have suggested to the Laundrie family to put out condolences to Gabby Petito and the
Correct. They've
why,
shown
why,
no
why, yeah,
sympathy.
they don't stand to incriminate themselves by saying, hey, I want to send my deepest and sincerest condolences to you and your family. And they fail to do that. So let me get to these other 4 people.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining. Tracy,
Yes.
where are you watching from? Where are you watching from?
I am watching from Mandeville, Louisiana.
Okay, so you don't have your camera on. That's okay. I'm giving you a hall pass for that.
Is
Go
that okay?
Tigers.
Is it on now?
No, it's
No.
okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry
What's your
about that. This is
question?
my first time.
It's okay, my dear.
I wanted to know if they ever actually said that the journal was Brian's. Could it have been Gabby's that he had with him?
All they said was that they had a journal. They didn't
No,
say
I didn't say journal. They said notebook.
notebook. Okay, so notebook, journal.
Mhm.
Yeah. So a notebook. They said they had a notebook, and that is the extent of it. They didn't go into details. I don't know if and when they will release those details. They may never. So, and that's going to drive us crazy because everybody wants to know. Yeah, Tracy, I would just be speculating like you would be. So we don't have the answers to it.
Well,
Ed's got something to say though.
I would check. I would check the lawyer's statement. I believe he made a statement about what was recovered there as being Brian's belongings.
Brian's belongings. So all indicators would say that due to the utterance of the attorney that it is Brian's either notebook, notepad. I've seen people say that it was a tablet or it was this, it was that. Until they officially release it, it's all going to be
nobody knows.
Yeah. Thank you, Tracy.
Well, thank you so much. I thought I might have missed it because no one is actually saying it's his for sure. But thank you for taking my question.
You're welcome.
Love y'all too.
Thank you, Tracy.
Bye, Trace. All right. So we got Gigi. Gigi's driving, it looks like. Be careful driving. I'm going to unmute you. Hi, Gigi.
Hey there. So I'm from Louisiana, by the way. Go Tigers. Who dat? Quick question that I haven't heard just yet, and sorry if I missed it, but and I'm in a car rider line, so I'm not driving right now. Can the Laundries be charged in anything, even though this case is technically, I guess, closed?
You're talking about the parents?
Yes. Sorry.
Yes. If the investigation proves that they did commit any criminal acts in regards to aiding and abetting or tampering with evidence or whatever the case may be, associated with trying to find Brian or trying to link Brian to Gabby's death, yes, if the investigation proves that.
Okay, that was all my questions. And thank you both. Y'all doing an awesome job. I just joined y'all about 2 or 3 weeks ago and really enjoy your content. So thank you. And who dat? Hope we win tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gigi.
Bye.
Bye. Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love taking calls like that because and like any of these calls, people come in because everyone has so many questions and so many concerns. So I love to do this. I think it's a good way to give back to the membership and to the folks who subscribe. Amanda sends in from the UK, sends in a hi. I'm a 20-year law enforcement and I can't understand why when Chris Laundrie found the bag, why didn't he stay still, not touch it, and use his phone to call Roberta Laundrie or LE to call to his location and not to cause a break in the continuity of evidence? Amen. That's from across the pond. It's the same thing.
We agree.
Yeah, wholeheartedly we agree, and we've spoken about this at length last live stream. So thank you for that super chat, and thank you for your service. Stay safe, my fellow brother or sister over in the UK, our law enforcement counterparts across the pond and across the world. We bond with them. It's like no other career you can ever get into. The brother and sisterhood is strong. So thank you for that. All right, I think we're good, Ed. We went way over the 30 minutes that we planned for. Actually, we're on to the 45. You got anything? Ed's checking his clock.
Checking the clock, yes.
Anything for the troops tomorrow night, 8 p.m.?
I'm looking for a great presentation tomorrow by Dr. Warren. You'll enjoy it. I know how he teaches and how he gives the presentations. And again, just another educational experience for us all to learn at the feet of somebody who's been there and done that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be unbelievable. And listen, guys and girls, I'm healing up pretty good. I did that bandaging all by myself, so I don't know how good that looks, but I look like probably like Frankenstein. But I did it myself with mirrors, and it was a whole to-do this morning. I had cancer, skin cancer removed from my head, 10 stitches in my scalp. I'm going to be fine. Yeah, we're going to do the body farm. That's going to be another live stream. Just Larry is checking in and says, great show. Love the addition of Ed. He is awesome. Yeah, Larry's been around before Ed showed up onto the scene. So Larry was a fan of the show before you came aboard. I've been doing this for a little over 2 years. So, you know, I appreciate the folks who have subscribed from in the past and are still here. That's an honor for me, for folks that are hanging around for over 2 years, listening to me talk. I've been doing this for, you know, again, a great part of my adult life. And, you know, I think that we do have a lot to offer when it comes to insight from a police perspective and from the criminal investigation side. I mean, again, Ed, I have a sheet that's right up here. I have it taped up onto one of my monitors, and it is a full sheet, a full cheat sheet of Ed Wallace's experience. And I minimized it. I did the short version. If I had the long version, I need like 3 more monitors here to give you guys. And I'm not saying it jokingly, because Ed's got an impressive resume. So, guys and girls, as I always like to end these live streams, God bless the world, God bless the United States of America, and God bless each and every one of us here in the chat, and all victims of crime and their families across the globe. Guys, make sure you subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all one word, DutyRon. Make sure you like the video, hit the thumbs up, leave us a comment down below in the comment section. It's always appreciated when you guys do that. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care from Ed. And Ed is in a undisclosed location. I can't give up his coordinates right now. He's always in I don't know. Ed's always in an undisclosed spot, but
I'm not in the undisclosed spot, but it's not where Snooki was.
He just gave it up. All right, guys, take care from New York and another state. So we'll talk to you soon.
Take care.